Hello.
Yeah, so you see, we're gonna do we'll go from our journal 1 to 10. How's that sound?
Okay.
I
Yeah,
like
that sounds good. That sounds like a good idea. They're yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look for
Old
Dave.
classics.
What's up? Yeah.
Your repurposed freighter drifts
Yay.
through space. As you stare out at the star-flecked void, another ship comes in. Wait,
Everyone
is
is
this
doing
sci-fi?
well.
I thought we agreed on a World War II
Just
campaign.
talk to Ed. He'll
Oh,
definitely will be on.
Did
so
we?
We're good.
That's cool. I can pivot. The smell of smoke curdles in your nostrils. Hold up, I thought we were prepping for a zombie apocalypse campaign. Alright, here's what we're doing. It's the year 3700. Humanity's elite fled to other planets long ago, taking with them all forms of advanced technology. Earth survivors scrape by with historic tools as weird phenomena plague abandoned nuclear sites. Witnesses report seeing glowing lights and the dead rising from their graves. And amidst the chaos, 3 strangers will meet in a dim bar. A veteran zombie slayer, a disgraced general out for revenge, and a space mercenary sent to investigate the power plants. Now describe your characters. How did you do that? I have the right tools for the job.
Hello, hello, hello. See if I can do that.
A story once spoken is ageless. The dungeon imagined without end. The curious are the ones most courageous.
Running an
The
extra
tree that endures
with that on, running an
has to
extra
bend.
sub discount promo. Why
From
not?
stillness the mad mage is stirring. From countless voices the castle takes
35%
shape.
off. Which is
Zagig will test the
1
enduring.
hour, but it should be 2.
Those unlucky will never escape.
Keep on looking over for Ed. Not yet. There comes Ed. Boom, boom, boom. Ed! Got sound? It's working
No,
on it.
not yet.
Not
Can
yet.
you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Now we can hear you.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome. Good to see you
Awesome.
again.
Ah, likewise. Hi.
Thanks, Wolfie, Jeremy.
Yep.
Ah,
There we go. Yep.
yes. Fun
Have some-
times.
Raspberry lemonade here, so
Raspberry Lemonade. Oh.
or
what's
something.
wrong?
Ice, that
POV, I
raspberry
had 30
iced tea.
minutes before
Yeah.
my campaign group
Okay.
showed
Yeah,
up, and I was
raspberry
totally
flavored
unprepared.
iced tea. So yep.
I grabbed my ready, set, encounter box,
I
and
have a
boom,
cappuccino.
everything I needed for an
Yep.
epic session.
Makes me all
Adventure
warm
hooks,
and fuzzy
map
inside.
tiles, loot tables,
can
stat
still
blocks,
have
and
coffee,
miniatures,
lucky
all
dog.
ready to go. My players still think I
I've
spent
never
hours planning
liked
our
coffee,
great
and I come
dragon
from
encounter.
I think
If
the
you're a busy
nation that
dungeon master,
is the
get ready, set,
second
encounter
biggest
live
coffee
now on
drinkers in the
Kickstarter.
world. The Finnish are the one that drinks the most coffee, and Swedes are a good
POV, I
second.
had 30 minutes before my campaign
close-
group showed up, and
close
I was
second, yeah.
totally unprepared.
Yes.
I grabbed my ready,
I
set,
can't
encounter box, and
anymore.
boom,
No,
everything I
I
needed
never
for an
liked
epic
it. Oh,
session.
God,
Adventure
no.
hooks, map tiles, loot tables, stat blocks, and
Yes,
miniatures,
it's a terrible
all ready to
thing.
go. My players still think I
Green
spent hours
tea
planning
or,
our great dragon
Dr.
encounter.
Pepper?
If you're
Well,
a
I
busy
can't say
dungeon
anything.
master,
I
get ready,
like
set,
my
encounter
soft
live now
drinks,
on
and
Kickstarter.
I like my chocolate. I'm a chocoholic, so I can definitely,
Yes.
yeah, in any shape and form.
Gotcha, Steph.
Yeah, Jay, you gotta try all the European.
Well, your hair, Ed, one thing, you're a little low.
I'm a little low.
You're a little low, yeah.
Yeah, slightly low, maybe. Yeah,
Interesting. Let me see.
yeah, maybe.
So
A
go to the
little
audio
low.
and the output on through Zoom or through your standard mic.
Yeah, okay, so how's that?
It's very clear, but it's just a tiny bit low. Yep.
Interesting.
But it might be that J is a bit high. I'm not sure. Yeah.
No, it's in my sound. I can, yeah. 'Cause
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, output volume. Input
There.
volume. Let's try that. Hi, am I loud now?
No, it's
It's
still.
like. Oh yeah, maybe.
We're gonna come live for a second early to
How's
get
this?
Ed's sound, so I don't have any sound
It's
here.
it's okay. It's okay. You when you get excited, it will even
We'll get loud.
even
There,
things
there.
out.
We'll just
so
come
that-
live and just see. All right.
Yeah,
Can everyone hear
mhm.
Ed? Go ahead, Ed.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Here we go.
You're
Okay,
good.
there we
You're
go.
good.
No,
You're
no
good.
background music or anything, any BS like
You're
that.
good.
So we're a little early, and I did that on purpose,
Uh-oh.
Ed and Anna, because I gotta give some props. They may not be on yet, but I got some gifts here, and I wanted to show you some of the things that some of the people have been kind enough to give me. Brungal's wife made me this blanket.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Look,
Ooh.
yes. So it's all warm and fuzzy. Yes. So very nice.
That
with,
looks nice.
Yeah, really nice of her. So
What's the motif?
I guess it's Celtic, or it's
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. You can
So-
see
Yeah,
some patterns there.
Yeah, I
Yes.
see knotwork. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mhm.
so very, very cool. I really appreciate it, Brungal. I don't think he's on yet, but and then one of your favorites, Ed, who you've been on the show with once, Punk Rock Jenny sent me a goodie box because I sent her a Virtual Greyhawk Con T-shirt. So she sent me some shirts here. There's one for initiative. There we go. That's kind of cool. Roll for initiative with a
Yeah.
there.
mhm.
Yeah, this is
Nice.
from her store. There's a lot of stuff in here. So a lot of stickers, and then this. What's this one say? This one says, "Roll initiative, slay dragons." Oh my god, yeah. Is there two of these? Oh jeez. Maybe I can give away one of these. Roll initiative, slay dragons. There you
Look
go.
at that.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
cool. That's cool.
Mhm.
For the well-dressed gamer. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I only sent her one T-shirt. Yeah, I got two of those, so maybe I got another size. I can give one of these away. So yeah, same one, two of those. These are from Puck Rock Jetty. If you
Nice.
remember her from multiple talk shows, and then nice dice box, and a cool stat notebook. Yeah, a nice dice box too. So yeah, she sent me some nice stuff. So both of them,
Cool.
yeah, thank you very much to both of them. You know, wanted to say thank you and share that stuff. It's all right here, and we'll get cranking here now that I've shared all that. Look, it's not even 7 o'clock yet, so I got it done before we even started. So, we'll see Ed in a week and a half. Back with Ravalantar and Fritz and all those, yes. So we continue our Altamira hijinks with the Thieves Guilds. So that'll be a fun thing. You missed it all. What happened? Oh, did I disconnect?
No, you didn't disconnect, as far as I know and can see.
Did I disconnect? Did I disconnect?
No.
I have
No.
dropped frames 12,000.
Oh, okay.
Hardcore lag and buffering. That is weird. Huh.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll re-show them real quick. Are we back? We didn't disconnect completely though. That's just strange. Yeah, it says I dropped 12,000 frames. What the heck?
Oh,
Okay, it's fine now. That's bizarre.
Someone didn't pay their internet bill
No, it's just
on
all
the
that
way.
weird crap. You know, if I
On the
told you how
way
much
somewhere.
I pay for internet, you'd.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't mean
Drop
you.
it.
I mean someone on the way. Your ISP or
Roll-
something didn't
roll-
pay their bills. Yeah.
Well, I have the evil empire of Comcast. So
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I that all evil empires are the same to
Yeah,
me.
and
Jay.
there you go. There's another one. Roll for initiative. Pretty nice.
Yep.
There you go from Jenny. So
Yeah.
okay, everyone's there. All right, that's just weird. That was weird. I looked up and I was like, drop frames 12,000. What the hell? All right, well, we look good now, right? Everything's good. Everything's good. You guys can hear us clearly. There's no more lag. There's no more drop frames. We're good. Oh my God, Avatar. There we go. What? 50 gift subs? Oh my God.
wow.
Oh my gosh, Avatar. Well, I guess that discount worked. Thanks.
Yeah, that was a
Oh my
discount.
gosh.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Holy jeez. All right, someone throw us at least 100 cheer. Make sure we have that hype train, because I'm going to add some stuff to the giveaway, because we do have. I can't even get the show going there, Ed. We do have a. Thanks, Wolf. It could have been a server switch. It could have been. Let me go to. Troller Games is giving away something. We gave the same book away last time. It has the Greenwood Dragon in it, right? So we from when we did monsters last time, but this one fits in really well. I'll just switch over here real quick. Level 9, Monsters and Treasures of Air in hardback. All right, so let me just set the giveaway up for that, courtesy of Troller Games. There you go. I'll add some other stuff to it now. We'll do a second giveaway from some classic D&D reprints or some more Troller Game gift certificates. Oh, thanks, Avatar. Wow, level 9 hype train. That's insane. Thanks, man. Very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. All right. Yeah, it's a really cool book, and there's a lot of new magic items in there that may go along with what you're doing in the campaign. So, Ed, it's good for you. Thanks for coming back, man. So,
Hey, no problem.
what about this title? See, I'm assuming there's some epic moments in Faerun and Forgotten Realms that an item really screwed up people, screwed up a whole, I don't know them. I want to hear some of the stories, or maybe there's some lesser ones, or or some stuff you're working on, like usual. So I think it'll be a blast. So I was glad when you seemed excited about the title. What are your thoughts, general? What are your general thoughts?
My general thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh well, my general thoughts are okay. Artifacts have to be used judiciously, because improperly designed or handled by the DM, boy are they campaign busters. Boy are they overpowered. So I decided to write up 2 new artifacts. One for Greyhawk and one for the Realms.
Oh.
Now the one from Greyhawk is not new. It's something that we never got stats for.
The Crooked Realm.
No.
We got stats for that one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Unholy Blood Shield of Hextor.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
good one.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Good
So
one.
Nice.
Carl
Oh
Sargent
my God, Avatar.
described it very briefly in an adventure, the Screaming Column in the Temple of Roxas and so, but he never wrote it up. And various people have had a stab at it. I thought, yeah, and some of the ones I've seen have been way overpowered. Like, move a continent overpowered.
Right,
So-
right. Yeah.
I decided, okay, here's how you do an artifact. So,
Wow.
very humbly, so I wrote one up. And I thought, okay, I can't do that for Greyhawk and not do it for the Realms. So I gave a completely new one for the Realms.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So everyone's going to be super, super excited for this. Really, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely. To see
And
what.
I will hand you the file as usual.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So for us, it's like you get your moments, and I don't know if it's good or bad. Because the difference, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. For the most part, Ed, you have had story control for a lot of it, right? Like even during time of troubles, or whatever. If they made a time jumped or whatever, but you're telling most of the stories. This Greyhawk went from Gary to Sergeant to Roger Moore to Eric Mona to all the living Greyhawk people, and it kind of
Mm-hmm.
you can see that that change. So
Yeah, but the realms ping-ponged around anyway. Once I handed it over, I didn't have story control.
okay,
The realms traffic cop had story control, but the realms traffic cop had story control the way a teenage boy grabs onto a neighbor's car and skids along on his shoes while the neighbor drives wildly. And the neighbor driving wildly is everybody in the book department writing their novels.
right,
And
right,
they all
okay.
did whatever they pleased.
Mhm.
And then the game department had to clean up the messes.
As long as there was enough spectator to see the mess, then the show was going on, so to speak.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so cool. I'm looking, so I can't find my Greyhawk Adventures
Yep.
book here. Give me a second. I'm all over the place on things. So okay. Anna, how about your initial thoughts on the topic?
My initial thought was that with items, a lot of normal, you just think of things you give to the characters, meaning things they can carry, like swords, rings, wands, staffs, and stuff like that. When I think of artifacts, I want to think outside of that primarily, so to speak. I think there are occasional artifacts traditionally like swords, rings, and stuff like that, but I want to think that a lot of artifacts, at least in my campaign, and now in my Hawktail rules, are bigger than that. They are like temples and they are monuments and they are like epic things you put together, like Tuvad Baragu and stuff, that things that have like can span way bigger than one person holding a staff or something like that. Things that are, when we talk about here, that can change the history or affect the large area and stuff. And I can see that a religion, for instance, a god might invest heavily in building a temple, like the Temple of Elemental Evil is a good example. I use wanting to sway a region or Suktmoy by building this temple and to create a diversion and a power base and all that. These are things that I'm thinking of as magic items, not in the regular sense that you carry them around, but that's when you think about, when I think about things that affects a large area, affect history, countries, and can derail a campaign. But the cool thing with these things is that they don't derail a campaign on the whim of a player, so to speak. Because the other thing besides this, even if you give an artifact to a player, or a character finds an artifact like a cool +5 Holy Avenger with all sorts of bells and whistles on it that is super intelligent, that is a beacon. Every enemy everywhere wants it, and not only that, every other good guy wants one too, so they will come and compete for it, and the not so good ones, so to speak, or the ones that may be able to wield it, they will be wonderfully happy if you martyr them and they can pick it up from your bones and carry on the light, so to speak. So you will have a lot of followers who would love to be able to carry that in the future, and when you're brave paladin meets all the evil ones that would kill you, they will pick up the mantle, so they can be the wielder of this extraordinary sword for another day, a week, or 5 minutes, or whatever it is. So I see them in rules wise, but I think you need to look beyond the stats of an item. I'm not that worried about statting out something fantastic, because that gives me the reason to overpower, go after them like crazy. So they should question, should I even touch this? Should I take this and run to the good temple and hide it somewhere, or give it to someone else and take credit for it. And you haven't, I don't think you, as a DM, you haven't thought the things through if you think that they can just take it, go out and start slaying little mini evils here and there with it, because the big evils would find you and they want to destroy it. So those are my initial thoughts on this, that two dimensions that I think that I thought of that I don't think you think normally of, so to speak.
And for me, I like the players being in the weeds on this stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, I have given out items that they don't know what they're getting
Mhm.
into later on.
Yeah, that I love too. That it's something that they will figure out eventually. It will reveal itself later, because the artifact might know when to show its powers or not,
Yes.
so to speak.
I'll discuss a couple of them, including one that
That-
was found yesterday while we were gaming. So,
Yeah.
Grunkel,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah,
I should. Yeah. Go
Yeah, I
ahead,
was
Andy.
going to say that is a great aspect of it, that artifacts should have a life of their own, so they should
Yeah.
show or hide their powers as it pleases them rather than the wearer. So to speak.
And let me,
or the user.
and I don't know if you agree with me on this, but we don't need to call them all out artifacts. There could be just extremely
Yeah.
powerful magical items that, like,
Yeah.
you know, someone, over the years, it's grown in power, but it's not an artifact, right? So that's what I try not to say. I don't give artifacts to my players. I give very powerful, items
Yep.
to my players, but they
Yep.
don't know it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah.
And of course, we've had 3 different editions of people arguing, "Oh, that's a relic. No, that's an artifact."
Oh yeah,
It's like,
splitting hairs.
oh, please.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely splitting hairs.
I mean, I have to put up with that when I'm in school. I don't want to do it in my D&D sessions. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it from a rules-wise, meaning it's how difficult they are to make. So I will have it that they need investment of someone that has a higher power level than a mere mortal, so to speak. If you need to be immortal creating it, then you're talking artifacts, so to speak,
I'm not
generally.
I'm not letting any of my players ever create anything like that, right? For me,
I don't think that will happen in my campaign
no.
either.
For me, it's stuff that I can, like, bring in a new item. I can create it, just like Gary said, make Greyhawk your own, right? I can create a little bit of lore to add to the story, right?
Mhm.
Here's the story of the Seoul migration. Here's a little sub thing. Someone left this tiara, and what's the background on it? Why is it in this lake? Why is it buried in the muck?
Yes.
Mhm.
That's kind of, and it just adds to my campaign.
Watery tarts sitting around in lakes. No.
Yeah.
And
No, but I
someone lost,
think
someone lost
yeah, so-
5 toes over it. We'll talk
Mhm.
about that
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah, but I think you
Yeah.
agree. I think
Yeah.
an artifact needs a story. It needs to have
Yeah,
a
it's gotta have some
creation
story,
story. It should have if it's not newly created, it has a story of who's used it, what it's cost, and the problems and whatever it brought, doom and gloom it brought over time, so to speak. And that should be weaved into it and to its
Yeah.
story. And who wants it and who wants
Right.
to destroy it and who
Jim Ward had a thing years ago where he said, if you're going to create an artifact, you have to sacrifice your own life.
Yeah.
Not everybody involved, but somebody's got to give up their life.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if your player character wants to make an artifact,
Mhm.
it's their legacy, as in they're going down
Mhm.
doing it.
Yep.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
That's what. No, I just say that's one
Mhm.
really good way of limiting it.
And it's a great way of
Yeah.
limiting it.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100% a great way of limiting
In
it.
Hawk
Yeah.
Tales, I will even put quantification. So that's why I have the metaphysical stats, those 3 extra stats. You have to sacrifice a heck of a lot of them plus XP and in order to create it, so to speak. So you have to first go around collecting a lot of XP and like life experience and know-how and all that, and then you have to put in your life force and your standing in the multiverse and a whole bunch of stuff into it in order to and after that you will be exhausted and only half as good afterwards. So that's why I think that. And that will go not only for artifacts, even for our other powerful items like staffs of the Magi or staff of power and stuff like that that are not considered artifacts traditionally, but very powerful. They will also require a lot of investment like that.
There are items that I don't give out any more than original first edition Dungeon Master Guide because they're not artifacts, but they're so powerful that they affect gameplay. It's like certain magic cards. You don't see those magic cards anymore. They're the banned cards. So
as a DM, I see them as a way for. Then I can throw even more of the monster book after them, so to speak. So I see them as, but you need to make sure you have enough of more stuff.
You don't want to turn Anna. You don't want to turn your game into a 3.5 race.
Oh, I played 3.5 for 20 years, or with including Pathfinder 1. So I'm so used to that. So yeah, meaning that's half my adventuring has been in the 3rd edition era. So
are you saying you're more Monty Hall than me?
It depends. I have less treasure and so on, but I definitely give, because I don't see things like this, like, oh, they got a huge gift, now they're more powerful, whatever. No, I see that as, oh, now they have a target on their backs. Now they're leveling up. It's like in politics. It's like you're going up from local politics to international politics, and all of a sudden everybody wants your back, so to speak.
Let me get my popcorn.
Yeah. So, but that's how I see it. You level up in the world. Your enemies become bigger and more powerful. Yeah.
Baker asked a question I'm going to answer real quick. Here's 3. No Helms of Brilliance. No Robes of Eyes. Okay. No Robes of Scintillating Colors. Because you read them. And no Rods of Beguiling with no save. Because he just turns you into Tulsa Doom, those things. So, by the way, this is still going, and it's because Avatar gave us 50, and we're still going. So sorry.
But Jay, I totally agree. A lot of these items, and that is part of the old school, because you had a lot of absolutes, meaning you can do this, and there were no stopping you. And so whether that is in a spell or an item, that I think is bad game design. There should always be gradual effects, and there should be always be things that could screw things up, so to speak. It's not like this always works or that always stops something. No, there is no always in rules. Shouldn't be, in my opinion.
So Ed, back to the old days, right? When you're doing 1st edition and 2nd edition.
Oh, when I was young, and free.
Well, 1st, 2nd edition. I'm like, I'm between I'm between 12 and 18, going into my college years.
Jay is still in that age.
Yeah. Mentally, absolutely, Anna. I have not left. I am so immature. It's that's my
no,
life.
That's just being male.
The question is, when you're starting to, Forgotten Realms came out, officially came out 85? Officially? 84, 85?
87 as a published setting. 86 I sent all the stuff.
Okay.
It started appearing in Dragon in 1979.
79 bits and pieces, right? Okay.
By the way, the new Forgotten Realms books that are coming out, in the introduction to one of them, they get the date completely wrong. I think they came up with 1982 for some crazy reason. But anyway.
Wow. So, did you have, you had been playing for a long time, so did you look at this and go, yeah, you know what, I want to make my own, create unique items. I'm going to stay away. Vecna's not going to be anywhere near me, so no hands and eyes of Vecna running around the Forgotten Realms, or maybe they are, or whatever, or and other stories of things that would affect the campaign. So, just curious on did you worry about that power creep from items when you first start publishing Forgotten Realms?
Okay, no, because
Okay.
I knew it was going to be a high magic setting.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I had set it up as a high magic setting, and that translated really well into the game. Because at that time, everybody read Dragon. And everybody
Yeah.
read and reread
I think we're done there.
the rule books. I mean, both players and DMs. And
Right.
that led to some unavoidable metagaming stuff.
Right.
Like, we see this spherical creature with eye stalks. Okay, everybody run and hide, and then hit it with our longest range things. Because it's either a gas spore and it'll blow up, or a beholder. There's no other choice, sort of thing.
Well, there is now
So,
because of you.
yeah, because I started making look-alike monsters to force the role-playing back. And in the same way, I wanted a large pantheon of gods, so nobody can memorize stuff and keep it all straight in their heads.
Oh, is that why there's so many?
Yes, because
Wow.
then when you break into a temple,
I did not know that.
because you're adventurers, you know, you got to think carefully. Okay, wait a minute. What deity is this? You can't keep track of them all. Okay, and that's deliberate because it forces you back into role playing. Same with all the magic and the spells. There's so much magic, you can't keep track of it all. You can't memorize it. Oh, wait a minute. Magic missile does this much damage, this many things. So we look at what the wizard casts at us, and we know exactly what level he is.
And
You
by
know,
the way,
so
yeah. No, that makes total sense. That makes total sense. And that's the variety of that is great for, and that's number one reason why I pilfer all your spells and put them in my Greyhawk. The variety of spells, man. Right? No, seriously.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great point, Ed. Absolutely. And just to prove this, and a quick funny sidebar. Shit. There's Tim. I literally hit the right button there. This puppy is in Dragon Magazine, and Bill the Master Crafter and I too, Gary Cons ago, I want to put, this is one of those Ed things Ed created because he hate, to trick up beholders. Can you make me a mini for this thing? It's and he's like, oh yeah, and then I used it against Ed at Gary Con. Right, and Ed,
of course you did.
Of course I did. And then this came, and then this wonderful, it's called, here it is, it's a bleeder. Yeah.
So, a death kiss or a bleeder, yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of these out there. So just so you're aware, it's just, and I still have the mini for it, and I will use it, but I don't know if it's published. Whoops. I don't know if it's published anywhere else. So, besides Dragon, it may be in a different edition, but yeah. So, there's that wonderful, trick it up deal. That's a great point. So deities are set that way too, for you. Anything else?
Sure.
Trick
a lot of the
that's a great point.
A lot of the artifacts are big stationary things or nearly stationary. The published realm saw one of them, the Worm Skull Throne, which wasn't my creation, but it was perfectly in the vein of the stuff I'd created, because the in-house people had access to the super secret file of Realm Secrets, which still has never been published. It was for internal use, and they could mine it for stuff. But a lot of my artifacts were stationary. For example, in the middle of the nation, the country of Thay, is a mountain called the Thay Mount. And that's where Zastam rules from in his citadel. Why does he rule there, and why are there lots and lots of wizards in this slave-taking, sometimes near desert kingdom? Well, because there's a floating rock, a huge, like a standing stone, but it's floating in midair inside a cavern inside Thaymount called the Athora. And it is a huge source of magic. And it predates sentient life in the realms.
Okay.
Mystra uses it as one of her anchors, a weave anchor. But the existence of the Athora argues that if you killed all the red wizards tomorrow and then walked away from Thay for a couple hundred years and you came back, whoever was living there, there'd be lots of Yeah, well, no, there'd be lots of wizards
Right.
because of
Oh,
the
okay.
Athora.
Okay.
You see, and I had lots of artifacts that were like that. You couldn't pick them up, put them under your arm, take them into the dungeon and slaughter dragons with them.
And
They were
there's
stationary.
some like that in Greyhawk too. You got because that castle, the ruins of Castle Greyhawk are built over.
Yes,
Built over. I forget what they're called. Those black pinnacles. Oh my
right.
God, my brain and that's where he got his power from. And then there's Earth Blood. Tensor built a keep around where that was.
Yep.
And
And that's the thing. If
okay,
you have a religion, you build your temple over one of these things.
okay,
And then in the same way that our recent editions of the game clumsily try and take care of the fact that the way the game is scaled, your average adventurer can walk into a temple and just butcher everybody and steal all its stuff because of the way hit points work and so
right.
on. And you take care of that by giving monsters legendary actions or layer actions or whatever. So you can put that in a temple. It's got this artifact underneath it. So suddenly when you start doing all these things, the temple defends itself. You know, that sort of thing, because it's got this magical power because of the artifact. So I had lots of artifacts that were like that. You couldn't pick them up and use them as an adventurer unless you were somehow wily enough to lure your foes to where the artifact was and then fight them
Right.
there.
And there's a fair amount of that in Greyhawk. I mean, I'm assuming the Malachite throne isn't being moved around anywhere.
No.
Right. So
Yep.
as one of them, and a couple others come to mind, like the soul husks aren't going anywhere. They're
Yeah.
not being moved. That's why IES has to keep that place for as much as possible secret. Right.
Hmm.
So okay, cool, excellent. So I don't know. This is going to be a really fun discussion because I think it's going to be on two levels. We're going to have our ones that are in history and stories, or new ones that are like this, and then we'll have the ones that are like, well, this could only affect the local area, and which I think will be cool. So, yep. Hey, darling, how are you? At Ed on tonight, we're having some fun. Had our record hype train just a little while ago. Things are going great. So, all right, Ed. So let's start with something that's published. Something published in Forgotten Realms that may be obscure or whatever. I mean,
Oh no, this is the thing I've cooked up is brand new.
Yes, but how about
You want
something that exists already? First that I may not have heard of in Forgotten Realms. That would be like an item that maybe the Harpers have or something Drizzt has. I don't know.
Okay.
Then we'll get to the other three.
Yeah, there is one
Hey,
called
Mandy.
the Unicorn's Horn.
Okay.
And the Unicorn's Horn teleports itself around the headwaters of the river. There's a famous place in the middle of the high forest called the Unicorn Run, which is the headquarters of a river, and it looks beautiful. So think of all those lovely deep woods with trees, thicker than your typical transport trailer truck. And there's moss and lichen underfoot, nice and soft. And there's gigantic roots running everywhere, and gloom. And this beautiful drinkable water that won't give you chlamydia is percolating past you. And this is a place you can go to restore your soul, or just to heal and not get. And unicorns on there, but there is a unicorn's horn, a severed horn from a unicorn that is dead and gone, and it moves itself around, and it appears to people glowing in midair, floating, and if you touch it, it can heal you.
Oh.
Heal you if you're fingers or toes. If if you've got away, they'll go if you want to.
You're a bit choppy there on your Zoom.
We'll see.
Choppy on my Zoom.
Yeah, your Zoom's a bit choppy there. Yes. So let's see if it clears. Yep. It's I'm checking to make sure I have no more drop frames. Anna, you're not choppy, right? You and I aren't choppy. Going
No,
back and forth. Okay.
you'd be
Okay.
perfect. Yeah, yeah,
It's
the
that
whole time.
Canadian connection maybe there.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
all right. So here's my I'm a D bag. I'm going to ask this question. Create that before or after the movie Legend with Tom Cruise.
Yeah. That was I
Oh,
like
Ed
that movie.
froze completely. Didn't hear it.
Oh
He's
yeah.
not there.
Nope.
Damn. Hey Patrick, thanks. All right, Ed's frozen. He'll be back short in a second here. Ah man. Yes. Yes, he's creating some EMP fluxes out there. Like I said, we
Yep.
had a level up to a level almost 11 hype train. Thank you very much, community, especially Avatar, who got it kicked off with a ton of. There he goes. He'll be back. Yeah, he is having some technical chomps there. So let's see. Remember Uni's horn from the cartoon? Yeah, that was a big thing that they had. Yeah, Wenger wanted it, right? Yeah, he'll be back here. So just note, everyone, we're doing a hardback book for Monsters and Treasures of Aird. There he comes. Dun, dun, dun. All right, there you go. We'll see if that brings him back. Yes, hopefully not. Hopefully he didn't close.
Uh-oh.
You there?
Can you see me? Can
Yes.
you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
you're good.
we
You're
can.
good. You're good. Yeah.
It tells me my connection is unstable now.
Uh-oh.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's
Yeah,
okay.
it's kind of
Yeah. It's okay now. I asked you a question that my was that. Did you create that before or after the Tom Cruise movie Legend?
Before. You got to remember all those movies.
I know. Just like,
movies. Most of them are a decade younger than all of my root design.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to
add
because that's kind of like the unicorn.
Our big fantasy movies at the time were something called The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There wasn't much else yet.
Because a lot of it was there was sci-fi, right? There's not. There was. I'm trying to think. Trying to think of the earliest D&D. Well, there was the Harry Hewson, stuff, but that was all Greek mythology stuff. Movies that were out in the 60s, right?
Yeah,
so, Sinbad and things like that were out in the 60s. Yeah, I can't remember the one. There was a one in that era too that a guy he was doing a tug of war between him and 100 left-handed Amazons. What movie was that? That was another one.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. That was from that era.
Yes.
Was that Hercules? Sam, I didn't think it was Hercules. I thought it was another one, but I could have been from back in the day. But yeah. Thank you, everyone. All right, so that's a cool thing. So it's a healing item.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere. It doesn't stay in one place.
No, it's you either can't find it at all, or it's somewhere around the Unicorn Run.
Okay.
And if you go seeking it, because there have been little expeditions sent, adventurers sent by rulers who want to have this magical healing thing because they want to live forever. If you go seeking it, you can never find it. It avoids you.
So it's kind of a positive thing for fate for those who deserve it. It may show up to save someone if they are deserving.
Yeah, exactly. So if your adventurer is staggering away as the last survivor,
okay. Is there
particularly if they've been poisoned? Because I almost thought poisoning someone was a little unfair.
Yeah, well, you know how in first edition a little large spider is going to take you out.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anyone in published source that were saved by that?
Yeah, but it's not stated in published sources they were saved like that. Several of the Company of Crazed Venturers, which is the original group, were saved at various times because they went off alone after they were... Okay, just to give you an example from movies, remember The Princess Bride?
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoiler it for anybody, but Inigo Montoya has a big duel at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And then he staggers off, clutching his gut, and there's blood streaming from him.
Right, and then he stops bleeding.
And yeah, and he's suddenly okay afterwards. Okay enough that he can leap out of a window onto the back of a horse and ride away and nothing
Plus, he gets
happens.
stabbed here and here too.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
I presume that Inigo Montoya did the same thing that characters in the realms did. He staggered up the unicorn run, the horn appeared, he touched it, and
Nice. That's cool. That's called a little bit of divine intervention, right?
yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, Roger Zelazny did this same thing when he was doing Shadowjack. If you were a demon or a Darksider and you got killed, you reappeared naked in the dung pits of Golive, holding a stone clutched in your hand, and the stone is your soul. And of course, most people didn't know that, so the first thing they did was throw the stone down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to walk out of the dung pits of Goliath, past all of these predatory monsters who exist to feed on the souls of the people coming back, and try and get out and start a new life. So I mean, it was sort of like the return thing, and I mean, it's an irresistible thing, giving someone a second chance, because want to live forever, kid, or it's the second chance, it's the chance at redemption. And of course, we're so cynical these days. If I may quote a movie,
Please.
Ant-Man,
Yeah.
and he says, "Do you believe in redemption, Scott?" "Oh, sure. My days of breaking into places and stealing shit are over. What do you need me to do?" "I need you to break into a place and steal some shit."
Yeah. I think he says something like that in Civil War too, when they bring him into the group. He's like, "I'm used to being in trouble with the law."
Yeah.
Yeah. So very cool.
I love the idea with soulstone, so I built that into Hawktails. There are rules. Creatures have some sort of essence. They can have a soul like humans and dwarfs and a lot of others, or you can have a spirit, and you can have a dark spirit. You can even have a dark soul, so to speak. And so you can turn, and it's like a dust. So when you decay naturally, you become the dust to dust. So you become dust, but you can also take that dust and turn it into a stone, and that is the soul of someone. So you can, and there's spells that you can rip it out of someone, and all sorts of stuff.
So Anna,
Yeah.
when are you publishing this? Where can I buy
the first alpha is coming out probably by the end of the year, early in this winter. Is that it will be the first public alpha, so to speak, and then next year, probably about a year, then there will be the first beta out, so to speak, and it's Creative Commons. So yeah. So it's coming. I have the first alpha was just for my internal use because it wasn't complete or anything. But the second alpha, it will be complete enough that it will be a public alpha. So it will be published on my website and stuff for free. So you can just download it in Markdown and PDF.
We have some other good news for you, Ed. We'll save that till after this show because we don't want to throw too much stuff out there. But
but I thought it was a cool idea to integrate essence, meaning the life force of creatures. And there's like 17, 18 different ones. So you can kind of degrade your down there until you're just, we'll go into that later. But yeah, so you can literally downgrade. So what happens after death and stuff. But it's mainly because monsters have these things too. And that means that they functions mechanically different. So you can't kill a ghost, for instance, doesn't have that functions very, very different from, and so just doing damage to something works on someone, and death saves and stuff works different. Some might not have them, and some of them might sacrifice something else in order to do it. Some monsters, they need to do evil deeds because that invigorates them, like liches and stuff. They survive on doing evil deeds because that they reach, if they go out and kill someone, they can use that to recharge their spells and stuff. So it's part of the how things function mechanically. So elves function, if they become like gray elves, they are spirit creatures, so they are function differently from humans and stuff. So that was something I wanted to do to diversify things a bit and make it more fun when you go one ghost hunting and stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. And that ties into artifacts too, because they can tie into these things, so to speak, and you need to sacrifice your metaphysical standing, and they can tie into to stuff.
Yeah, I just been talking to Curtis on Discord, Sam. So he's taking Brett, I think, back to the airport. So he's off. All right. So here's a magic item. I'm gonna show one in Greyhawk that is not an artifact, but the story behind it ties into it should probably be an artifact, and it's just in a regular book here. So if we come down to this is Greyhawk Adventures, and here it is, the Fire Wand of the Sulwees. All right. Well, yeah. It may have been the device that may have. I like how they say this is Jim Ward, right? That caused the destruction of the Soul Empire. It may have been created to reproduce the event. No scholar doubts its creator was a wizard of great power. So, and it can create that fire in a 60-foot cube only, up to a range of 80 yards. So there you go. And it's right in the Greyhawk Adventures book. So I imagine how many kids and adventurers like ourselves are like tempted by, it's a regular, so there you go. It's not no artifact, nothing. It's just it's a wand. So, as an example, but I never gave one out because I'm like, nah, I think it's going to keep it for something special. Yeah. But that's an example of one that's in this book. And there's a lot of stuff that's right on the edge in this book, and we'll never know who wrote it. Because once again, Jim Ward, passed, and when we asked Jim that question, he said, "Well, we put this together in 90 days, so there were so many writers, we just don't know." Yeah, it's a shame. I'd love to know who did the spells, who did the items, who did, but we just don't know, and it's unfortunate. But that's an example of one of these that are like, well, this could be game changing. It's not civilization changing right now in a Greyhawk campaign because no one's using it, but you sure could destroy Greyhawk City with it.
Oh yeah.
A lot easier than the Doom Grinder, but I'm sorry, I hate to do.
Yeah.
Yes, the rolling cigar could run right through there. That's another one there.
Yep.
So yeah. Maybe a prototype. It could be BB. We don't know, but that's what it says. Yeah.
But Jay, it upset your campaign, so it fulfilled its purpose.
What, the Doom Grinder? It has not left. It has not left that spot. It's still there.
No, but it messed with your campaign. It messed with so it's awesome.
It's so yeah.
Someone wrote that to irritate others with. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, probably. Like I said, the original Sergeant story was great, and then it just.
Yeah. Then they screwed it up. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Why don't we get to Greyhawk item number 1 from Ed?
Well, Greyhawk item number 1 and only, okay? Because I only did one Greyhawk item.
Oh, you did one Greyhawk item. Oh, wait. All right. Yeah. So how many? You got 2 Forgotten Realms and 1 Greyhawk?
No,
1 and 1?
No, 1 and 1.
1 and 1. All right. So why don't we do the Forgotten Realms one first then?
Oh, okay.
Sound good? We'll do the Forgotten Realms one first. This is new artifact or new super powerful magic item.
Yes, a new artifact. Okay. So, dun 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 dun, dun Mask's Velvet Fist. There have long been rumors that the priesthood of Mask, that's the god of thievery,
right,
folks, sends skilled assassins out into the world on rare occasions to destroy rulers who have had the temerity to act against temples of Mask or against thieves' guilds within their reach. These dispensers of holy justice are often armed with a precious artifact of the faith known as Mask's Velvet Fist. It's a left-hand glove of black velvet cloth that magically resizes to securely fit anywhere from fingertips to elbow, and it has the following properties. 1. Minor benign powers. Recognize the format, guys? Yeah, we're going old school.
I like it.
When worn or borne openly, the bearer benefits as if wearing a cloak of displacement. So, now I switch to 5e here. All attack rolls against them are made at a disadvantage.
Okay.
2. Major benign powers. When the fist is worn or borne openly, the bearer can deflect any hostile magic effect to another target or another target area. How successful this is depends on the nature of the magic and a bearer attack roll versus a target roll. Higher wins, DM to adjudicate results. But in all cases, the bearer is unaffected. Number 3, minor malevolent effects. When the fist is worn or borne openly, the bearer loses 1 hit point per cumulative time elapsed hour of wielding the fist, and must succeed on a constitution save each time, made at disadvantage, or the loss is permanent.
Oh my gosh.
In other words, you're only going to use this thing when you absolutely have to. You're not going to wander around wearing it going, ha ha ha, bam bam bam, ha ha ha. Okay, anyway. Number 4, major malevolent effects. Every time the fist's prime power is activated, the bearer must make a wisdom save or permanently lose 1 point of wisdom and of charisma. Number 5, prime powers. The fist can cast an augmented silent thunderstep spell. That is, it deals thunder damage but isn't heard by anyone. The bearer can, without error, teleport themselves to any unoccupied space they can see within 90 feet. A silent wave expands out from the spot the bearer departed for a 20-foot radius, no ricochets or ripples. All creatures in that ring-shaped area take 4d10 thunder damage if they fail a Constitution saving throw, or 2d10 if they succeed. Everything the bearer is wearing or carrying teleports unharmed with them, unless over their carrying capacity, weight, and the bearer can teleport 1 willing creature of their size or smaller, as long as they're within 5 feet of the bearer when this fist power is activated, and there's an unoccupied arrival space for them within 5 feet of the fist bearer's arrival spot after their teleport. And then 6, side effects. The bearer of Mask's fist can, by silent act of will, cause it to emit confusing random wisps of shadow or gloom that surround the bearer and move about and shift in shape and size constantly. This protects the bearer like half cover. In other words, a +2 bonus to AC and dexterity saving throws against attacks and creatures more than 10 feet from the bearer. It has no effect on creatures who are closer. If this effect is active, the bearer of Mask's fist can choose to cancel it at will, instantly and silently. They can also choose to consume it for a day, so the side effect can't be evoked again for 24 hours by using it to power an instantaneous, silent, misty step spell, unerring teleport to bearer seen spot up to 30 feet distant. So, that's the powers. In the Home Realm campaign, the Velvet Fist was stolen from a Temple of Mask in 1375 DR, the year of Risen Elfkin, while Mask, the deity, was dead, and has been secretly sought by clergy of Mask ever since. They haven't found it yet, and one result of their searches is that it has become clear that not even Mask himself can trace the location of the Velvet Fist. To all deities except Mystra, who is the weave, it is a blind spot. Mystra can only perceive it as a blind spot too, but she can see herself as the weave all around it, so she knows where the blind spot is if it's within realm space. Here I shift from what's going on in the Home Realms campaign to what can be going on in yours. The thief who has the fist now is a very successful jewel thief in Athkatla, who on rare occasions makes expeditions to Zazesper, stealing seldom and always wearing the fist when doing so. The rest of the time, it's stored in a fake underground temple of Mask that's really a gauntlet of traps he's set up with a hidden secret passage back safe way in for him to use. And when the real fist isn't there, a false one, an unenchanted duplicate, is sitting on the high altar in its place.
Nice.
So there you have it.
How many times has he used it? Unknown.
Oh, at least 14 that I know of.
14. Oh my god.
Well, you see, he uses it when he wants to make really big heists.
Okay.
So think of it this way. We've seen many movies, like, for instance, just to pick some out of thin air, the Red movies with Bruce Willis and John Malkovich and so on, in which you take extraordinary risks and do extraordinarily stupid things because the payoff is huge.
Right.
And
Like
this
shoot,
guy,
shoot a bullet against a
yeah,
missile launcher.
yeah.
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 Right.
Well, no, he did. John Malkovich did that because he called her an old man, and he was just
Yes.
pissed.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This guy is amassing a fortune, and he's amassing a fortune not to sit on a pile of wealth, but to use it for things. So when he wants to buy a small kingdom or do something else big, like um have a fleet of ships built to suddenly dominate all trade in the Vilhon Reach because he suddenly has like 80 new large merchant ships. And because he has 80 of them, they can ram competing merchant ships and go to the bottom. He doesn't care because he'll end up with maybe 60 left when nobody else has a ship left or something like that. So when he wants huge amounts of money, he puts on the fist and goes and does something. But to do that, he has to use his spies and informants to know that there's a big payoff, that somebody is walking around wearing, usually it's a revel or feast or wedding, where somebody is wearing a fortune in gems. Usually a lady, high class, done up,
Nice.
and he's going to have to get them off of her body in a situation where there are hundreds of people around. So it's going to be what we see in all the movies, mayhem.
So, and we also have to quote Michael Douglas, greed is good.
Is it though? Yeah, well, anyway.
In this case, it is what
Yeah.
it is, right? Wow, that's
Right.
great. So we could change that easily, not as like because Ola Damara and stuff. Sorol, which would be a good thief, a Greyhawk thief that you could change that over to a deity because they're not as vilely evil. I don't think his mask is right. His mask.
Oh, I know what I would do in my Greyhawk campaign. I'd have the Scarlet Brotherhood going after it because they know about it, and I would have somebody who hates them and wants them destroyed, having the fist and using it against them.
Beautiful. Well,
not to get tons of gems, but to get to individual members of the Scarlet Brotherhood and assassinate them.
Yeah. Adult's a good line deity. It would have to be an evil. All right, so an eye for an eye kind of deal there.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love that idea because you know how much I hate the Scarlet Brotherhood. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah, that makes two of us, Ed. That's awesome, fantastic. I don't know much about Mask, at all. Was there a Temple of Mask in Baldur's Gate 2? I know there was one of Talos. I think there maybe there was Joaquin. I know there was one of Joaquin, but Joaquin was dead. And I'm trying to think because I played the hell out of that. That was so awesome back in the day. So all right, great one.
Yeah, and Mask spent most of the time of troubles in the form of a sword called Godsbane. So he wasn't around. He was waiting out the bad things by lurking in it as a sword.
Love it.
It's another cool use for a soul stone. You can hammer it into an item. So, that's how you get. That's how you do a Holy Avenger. A paladin would donate his soul to become part of a Holy Avenger. that way you get the best one because you get that one can speak to from afterwards. So yeah.
which leads to the D&D version. You know the saying, I'm not saying it's aliens.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's aliens. The D&D version of that is, I'm not saying it's paladins.
Yeah,
but it's
but
paladins.
You never know. Yeah.
Fantastic.
and there's an evil version of that too. But there's
Yes.
then yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
back in the early days of Greyhawk, our friends overseas created this great 2 series of adventures that allows you to actually have artifacts at low level, and it's part of the plot line and storyline. And it just misses my wall of fame. And I think, if you want to do something second, third, fourth level, dealing with an item, then you want to go to these two by Graham Morris, and that's the Sentinel, right? And the Gauntlet. They're great adventures. And look, this is only through levels 3 through 5. You get yourself a feel if you're not a big Greyhawker, get yourself a feel of two artifacts that despise each other. There's some backstory on it at low level, and I really recommend both of them. I really do. Yeah, absolutely. So, so these things do exist in Greyhawk setting where you can do some stuff, and it won't affect, like, whatever happens at the end of this. It's not going to affect your Greyhawk. Is not going to turn into an evil empire or anything like that. It's down in the Sea Princess area. It's down in that area, where all the other UKs are. So, or you can move it but it's some good stuff. I wanted to share that as an idea for really. See, I recommend every Greyhawk DM run these at least once. It's good. It's a good story. So, yep, definitely. How about you, Anna? Thoughts? Something Greyhawk.
Yeah, I have one that is going to be the center of the adventures in Shieldlands.
Coming
for
for
a
Virtual
virtual
Great.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep, that will be one of the items that the main party is there to destroy, take control of, or at least deny I use the use of, and it's a staff of skull murder. Yeah, and no, yeah, you know what a flock of ravens
Yeah,
or
horde
crows.
murder.
Yeah, exactly. So this and one of IU's favorite animals or his spies are skull crows and skull ravens. They're like a raven without that just have a cranium, so to speak, that he sends out. So this is a special staff that is there to summon enormous amounts of them. And when you summon lots of them, they can do all sorts of nasty stuff. They can generate magic, and they can conjure stuff. They can make illusions. They can scare the bejesus out of you. And if you believe it, then becomes real. They can cast the powerful Iusian spells that summon, and they can throw down like bone chain. They throw down bone fragments. They pick up the bone fragments after a battle, and then they throw them on the enemy, and then they explode and create whole skeletons come down. So I used that in my last convention adventure I ran. Then one of these birders came over, and they start throwing down little bones everywhere that rose up as skeletons. There were hundreds of them, and I thought that, the characters are toast. They're never going to get out of this one. But they realized that, we have lightning bolts and stuff. So they started firing lightning bolts down one direction, and then they ran between them, so to speak. So that was really smart done, so to speak. So the staff of Skull Murder is a powerful staff that one of the Bonehearts, they created it in order to be one of these area menacing tools. So just like you in modern warfare, you can do drones to control an area and cause all sorts of mayhem. This is a fantasy version of that, so to speak. You use the staff to to summon or conjure hundreds and hundreds of skull ravens and skull crows and stuff. So they can go around menacing things. They keep an eye on things, so they can report back, and it's really hard to hide from hundreds of these things. And they can also then cause mayhem by scaring off lesser enemies in large numbers. They can go after more powerful ones by using cool magic and stuff, like I use in various pain spells and stuff like that to go after the mid-level. So it's only the really powerful enemies that can resist it, so to speak. It's a really good area terror weapon, and for I use it's an area denial weapon, so to speak. It makes sure that if you are a bunch of low level adventurers and a whole bunch of these comes, then it's tough to, so it's better, you better run, because they will get you eventually. They will wear you out and wear out your resources and get you, because they can throw curses and stuff like that that can be really, really hard.
Who's
But
wielding it now?
exactly. That's part I'm not going to tell you right now,
Ah,
because that's part of the secret. So that's part of finding out. That is what the second mission, the first mission is to defend the keep, to
okay.
make sure that this menace, to basically draw in the menace and then fight it from inside the keep. And the second, it's a scout party. They need to go out and find where the wielder of this thing is, point that out, set a beacon there, and then lead in the strike force, that is the high level ones that will come in and deal with it. So those are the three adventures. So yep.
Have fun those playing that game during Virtual GreyHawk.
Yep. So
Awesome.
the first skirmish game, they are about 5 level. The second scouts that go out there are about 10th level, and then the high level that deal with it is about 15th level. And I might be, because I have a couple of players, or at least one player, that will play in both the second and third. So I'm thinking about having the same, like 12th or 13th. So that character will be a leader of the scout party and then be a participant in the end too. But we'll see. So that might be, so to speak. And I think I already know what that character, but there will be some really cool characters for the high level party that will be 15 or above. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah. So I'm working on getting all these pre-gens done, and it's a heck of a lot of job to create these pre-gens. Yep.
Put this in perspective. Anna has 15th level characters where you're going to have skull-headed ravens and crows chasing after you, and my sign-ups, you're going to have Ravalantar and Fritz at the tickling feather.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, well then, your choice is clear.
And wonderful knight at tickling feather sounds like a wonderful alternative.
Well,
Then they go head on with Ayus and Ayus henchmen in. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: at the tickling feather, we can offer the sex and the rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, but,
There's no sex in my adventure.
And by the way, Stephen Radley McFarlane will be joining us too.
Oh, well then.
Yeah,
It's going to be well.
He's going to be joining us on that next
There you
week
go.
Thursday. Yeah, that'd be all right. That's cool. Can circle circle of high level druids cause rebel harm to the environment? Absolutely, Jeff. In fact, I think some of those spells that they can cast are insane. Ed, what are your thoughts on that? Like,
yeah, you definitely have to. Yeah. Okay, that's a role-playing thing.
Yeah, it is.
Because you have to decide how druids fit into the ecology, so to speak, of an area. Like, do they try and rule it? Do they safeguard it? What? Because they can, like, literally create mayhem. Or and here's the and this was used by an author once, a fantasy author. All they have to do to get rid of a foe, they never have to fight him. They never have to make armies march. All they have to do is conjure rain that rains right on top of them and never leaves.
Yeah,
ever. Like his castle is flooded, and it just never stops. It never stops. You travel 300 yards away from the castle, and it's sunny. But in the castle, it's always raining. And,
some of those first level spells are really written to the point where that can happen. Control weather spells and stuff, and control winds and all. They're crazy for higher level. Yeah. So the answer to that, Jeff, is yes. You got to be careful with druids.
Yeah, I have in Hawktail rules now the Forest Army. That's a primal magic 9th level spell, so you can basically animate a forest to go out and fight for you, do whatever. And I guess if you go against the enemy, then you kind of screwed up the natural area, so to speak.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But like, I don't think Rob Kuntz's Dark Druids have any aversion to sometimes for the greater good of them, that kind of stuff happening, So
Mhm. Yeah.
hint, hint, always
Yeah,
with
it's
the
like fight
Thursday.
fire with fire. Yeah.
Fight fi-
Earthquake is another one that could be tough.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Another one, and there's a lot of. I'm assuming there's a lot of artifacts that have that spell ability. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me. I'll talk about. Let's talk about what happened Saturday. Is that all right? If I talk about like how I've just introduced a new long-term plot arc item into the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Sound good, Ed?
Yeah.
All right. So Saturday's game was called Sidetracked. It was the Barbarian campaign outside near Altamira with all the fun stuff going on. If you saw all the unbelievably new terrain that Gamescape 3D, you may have saw some of this play tested at GaryCon, but it's gorgeous stuff, right? So they had to,
Mhm.
gorgeous, unbelievably crazy, good stuff. The actual fight with the army here had nothing to do with the item, which is really kind of like doing that sometime. But you know what a wing folk is, Ed, from Best of Dragon Volume 3, the Al-Karaki Lam. They were they were
Yep.
done up then, and it's never, they're not officially Greyhawk, but they're in mine, and they're protecting. Hey, what's up, Rachel? They're protecting. They work with the Arakakra, so
Yep.
they're trying to defend an Arakakra. Uh, this group is apparently going to attack an Arakakra stronghold. So but they did pretty well with it. But the wingfolk in the lower left hand corner said that this pool, there's supposedly a great creature of the deep, a monster that everyone's afraid of. It's stagnant. It's somewhere you can't see down below 5 feet in the water, and it's supposed to guard some secret. Yeah. So they finished taking out all the other ones, and I'm like, well, what do you want to do with this? Trying to goad them on.
Yeah.
Stronghold D&D's Tim's Fire Elementalist strips down and just jumps in. He must have been tuning something or whatever. It was a deep lurker, which is like a giant mutated crab, right? Critical hits, chops off 5 of his toes on his foot, right? And it's pulling him under like in Jaws. So they all start jumping down. They all start finally fighting that thing with spells and all. By the way, magic missiles work perfectly fine underwater. So they did they fought it and attacked it and saved his life, but his foot's all mangled. Any excuse, right? Any excuse to do something crazy. So they found 2 things. They found a horn, which was kind of like a almost like the horn of uh, minus Boromir's horn almost. That protects you from fear and stuff. But they found a tiara, and of course the one named Mara, she puts it on right away, and it's got 2 gems. It's got 2 gems, and it's got 2 open gems, and it's got a gem socket here. It's got 3 open gem sockets. She puts it on, and it's like it empathies to her. Finally, after all these years, someone worth wearing for me to wear me.
Oh dear. I mean, great.
Yes, and she's only 6th level, 6'6", Shadow Mage D. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this, because it's starting to talk to her and it says, your adventuring party is they're all beneath you. So
Yeah. Here we go.
right. So I got this set for I got this set. Is there an online store for the shirts, John? Are you talking about mine, or are you talking about Jenny's? You asked me that question again. So I gave it some basic ability. She can do a magic missile. She can do a lightning blast. She doesn't need food or drink. She gets +1 on all her saves. So as she grows up in level and she finds some of these other gems, the thing's going to scale. I like it to scale up, and then we'll see long-term plot arc. For now, it's going to help her, right? But down the road, it is known that this was a soul item that got lost, but no one knows anything about it. It's called the Tiara of Power. There you go. And we'll see what happens. She'll be wearing it. She'll be in the adventure and all. But long-term plot arc, we'll see what fun I can have with that.
Holy
So,
shit.
you like it? But like I said, was a side thing. It was like there was this creature there. They went and had nothing to do with the main adventure, but it's just right place, right time kind of thing, you know. And that's how I like
Oh
to
dear.
I like to introduce stuff like that lower level and let them get comfortable with it and comfortable with it and comfortable with it until I start telling their, sending them messages to their character. You know, you don't want to do that. You want to do this instead during the middle of the adventure. You don't worry. That person said you don't need to bind their wounds. If they die, they die. You want to go over there and fight that thing. Something like that. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
Yes. Yes, Ed.
Oh, yes.
But it won't affect the greater campaign. It's
No.
something. It'll affect my
It,
area.
it'll
Valtamira.
affect them, all right.
Right, exactly. But it'll be fun because she's it's Bella. Bella's deadly. She's new to my campaign. And yeah, isn't that mean to me?
You're like the guy who waits for the on the first day of school for the new students and goes,
Yeah, entice them. Yeah, it was a blast. So we had a fun time on Saturday. So yeah. So a lot of good magic items in this book. This was Sean Reynolds, right? Dwayne Maxwell, Magic of Fate Room. Just I had it, so I figured I'd. There's some artifacts in here and items. Hey, Ed, do you know much about this Magic of Fate Room book? Anything stand out to you? That
yeah, it pulled things from everywhere.
it did. Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah. A lot of Eric Boyd work.
Oh, okay.
A lot of mine. Pulling stuff from and putting it together and turning it into third edition, as in
Right.
making sure it was the stuff was a little more balanced.
Okay. All right. Because some cool things in here. I always like I said, getting some information and getting some ideas for my campaign that my guys and gals are not going to know anything about because they don't know a lot of the Forgotten Realm stuff. So yeah.
We need to put an ad out for or mention Drew Carthan's awesome. I'll see if I can find the link to it.
Yeah, I may have it on my machine. I just I gotta figure out where it is. Yeah, the Greyhawk Magic Items compilation that he did in 5th edition. Yeah, I have it somewhere where he took every published source one he
Yeah.
could find and redid it for 5th edition. It's on DM's Guild too. I think it's a pay what you want on it because I know he uses a lot of AI.
Or DM's Guild. Yeah, let's say you go DM's Guild instead. Yeah.
So, well, we got a fair amount of people on. Why don't we hear about this new item for Greyhawk? I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So, this time, let me start by taking you through the design process.
Awesome.
So, Ivid the Undying by Carl Sargent presents the unholy blood shield of Hextor, the most prized artifact of the Temple of Hextor in the city of Roxas. However, we don't get any detailed statistics. Just this, that it is vital to a powerful and unique enchantment cast by priests of Hextor on freshly severed heads to make them alive, sentient, and capable of experiencing pain. The senior priest then casts another spell akin to meld into stone that roots and fuses the heads into the screaming column. A stone column, folks, for torment. The heads go insane thanks to the column's other enchantments and cannot be resurrected. The blood shield can be used to stimulate the screaming column for 2d6 minutes once a week so all of its heads writhe, gibber, and scream. There is a suggestion that the blood shield was created with the aid of fiends. And that's it. That's what you get in Ivid the Undying. That's the extent of the published thingies. So, let's make this thing real. First, there's a strong inference that this is unique. There's only one of them. Second, it's a shield. Shape and size? Appearance? Well, let's go with dripping blood and covered with wet, sticky gore on the outside surface to support the name. Because if it's the blood shield, let's make it a blood shield. Before we do anything more, let's be a good designer and look at Hextor. He's a lawful evil lesser god, specifically the Oridian god of war and discord, worshipped in the lands of the former Great Kingdom, and a patron of evil warriors. He's a fearless brawler, and he has 6 arms, but he believes in battlefield discipline, strategy, and precise aims, so many soldiers venerate him, as do many mercenaries, tyrant rulers, and evil nobles, and assassins. In other words, those who depend on law, order, and contracts to profit by their oppression and evil doing. His symbol is 6 red arrows fanned out, often clutched in a left-hand gauntlet. Hextor is arrogant, malicious, and spiteful. He hates his brother Hieronius, and he's said to be despised by the archdukes of hell, who gave him his 6 arms and much power, but whom he promptly betrayed to avoid becoming their tool. So, the blood shield, which is a relic, by definition thanks to its religious importance, must have been created by devils to aid Hextor before he betrayed them. Their involvement explains the unholy part of the name. So now we've covered all the stuff we have to cover to
Okay.
make it all hang together. So, I'm going to go with a heater-shaped shield. Because those are the sorts of shields that fill in the pages of Vivid the Undying as adornments, presumably because they are used and familiar in Roxas. And I'm going to make its outer, foe-facing surface crimson with glistening blood that hangs in droplets along the lower edge but never drips. The droplets cling like a fringe on a lamp, never falling, just because that's a creepy image. It's lawful evil, because Hextor is, and his priests are. And it has the usual array of powers for an artifact. Specifically, it has these, picking from the Dungeon Master's Guide, and when a bearer is mentioned, this means a being holding the shield directly or wearing it for battle. And when I say wearing it for battle, I presume that it has the usual, a strap. I shove my arm in so the strap is right short of my elbow, and I have a handle or grip affixed to the inside of the shield so I can move the shield. Right. Okay. So, 1. Minor benign powers. Bearer regenerates 2 hit points per turn. Can breathe at will underwater or when submerged in blood. And can cast Fire Ward once per day. Renders a 14-foot diameter spherical area fireproof, instantly extinguishing all fires and preventing the ignition of future conflagrations for the spell's duration. Despite its name, the magic does not ward away flames, but rather drinks them in, destroying them. The sphere is centered on the blood shield. 5th level abjuration lasts 14 rounds. Spell from Faiths and Avatars, and later Volume 1 of the Priest Spell Compendium. So, because of it being in the Priest Spell Compendium, it reached Earth. Okay. 2. Major benign powers. Bearer has total immunity to all types of mental attacks, charms, etc., and has 50% magic resistance.
Nice.
3. Minor malevolent effects. If the shield is uncovered, all plants within 10 feet of the bearer wither and die. 4. Major malevolent effects. The bearer is suspicious of the true motives of anyone they meet who is not a cleric of Hextor or immediate family. Over time, meaning how much time the bearer has borne or used the uncovered shield, these feelings will intensify from wary mistrust to being ready for immediate attack, then to I must attack first, and the only way to ward off such attacks is for others to constantly invoke the name of Hextor. How quickly the bearer becomes paranoid depends on their intelligence, wisdom, and constitution scores. If these totaled are 36 or more, the bearer will be afflicted slowly. 5. Prime powers. Whenever the bearer wills, the shield can manifest the Hands of Hextor spell, sprouting 2 new pairs of arms that carry bucklers or swords to parry with, not attack. So they make the bearer's armor class better by 4 points. This is a variant of the spell from Earth Journal 9 by
Yeah.
Will McPherson, a 6th level cleric spell that causes 2 new pairs of arms to sprout from the shield, carrying sharp-edged bucklers or short swords that can only be used to parry. Each arm has 15 hit points of its own and can be destroyed by a specifically aimed dispel magic spell, but it is otherwise 100% magic resistance. 6. Side effects. Whenever the bearer of the shield is struck, images of human skulls, weeping blood from their empty eye sockets, momentarily appear in midair, swooping at any foes of the bearer within 90 feet of the bearer, as an unseen mournful war trumpet blares and the sky goes blood red above the bearer for an instant or two. To these powers, I'm going to add that the touch of the blood shield, when the right words are spoken, and they're graven on the inside of the shield, above its grips, and are Imbrara Hoth Hextorala by anyone, not just a priest of Hextor, though only they and some sages familiar with old Orderidian know what the words are for, can make a severed body part alive again and capable of experiencing pain, such as the heads the priests add to the screaming column. So, if you lose a finger, hand, or foot in battle, this power can keep the body part from rotting indefinitely. And when it's touched by the shield without speaking the 3 words, it's filled with life energy that will make it rise and awaken for 2d6 minutes. So if you want to creep somebody out by having your severed finger go walking along, anyway, a railing, for instance. So there you have it, a basic, rather low-level version of the unholy blood shield of Hextor. If I was using this in my campaign, I would add 2 things. 1, that it has an additional power or purpose that will be awakened by something that happens in the campaign and galvanizes all clergy of Hextor into doing something dramatic in the setting. 2, that someone has come upon the scribblings of a hermit priest who died insane after leaving the holy service in the Temple of Roxas. This someone is trying to use them to create more unholy blood shields with partial success. That is, they are creating magic items rather than artifacts that have a total of 3 powers and effects of the original true blood shield, and selling these blood shields to anyone who will pay, spreading mayhem across the setting. So in the Greyhawk setting, the screaming column is used to cow the citizens of Roxas so they won't object to the increasingly tyrannical and just plain crazy decrees and actions of their mad ruler. The unholy blood shield makes the column work and also serves as proof positive that Hextor is with us, to the priests of the temple in Roxas and to the citizens. So, just planting a campaign idea here, what if the shield is stolen? The priests will try to cover this up, of course, while at the same time searching for it, using all the magic they can muster. I figure they can track that it still exists and what direction it is from a priest casting the right spells, and very roughly how far off it is. So the hunt is on, and adventurers will be hired but not told the truth about what they're hunting for. And the priests will start thinking about creating fake blood shields, if only to put on display so the real one can never be stolen again. And what if the thief is a fanatical priest of Hextor who firmly believes that the jaded, corrupt priests back in Roxas were misusing the blood shield for their own ends, not the glory of Hextor, but he or she will do better, starting a new unholy crusade perhaps to storm and cleanse lesser temples of Hextor, working up to taking over, by bloody means, of course, the temple in Roxas. And what if the Blood Shield is sentient and has its own ideas about all of this? So, if an adventurer does seize it, it starts whispering to them in their mind and trying to take them over at the same time to get them to do its bidding. And there you have it.
Awesome.
So you took that from Infant the Undying, where it's only mentioned and nothing else, and ran with it like that.
Like
Wow.
2 sentences. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Jeff. Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome, Ed.
That's fantastic. Yep.
Awesome. Really, really cool.
And I love it how it ties into things. So in Hawktails, I have it that if you sell your soul or someone steals it, you become a thrall.
Yes.
So then you're a soulless human, and then you don't have control over your life and death. So that means that you can't succeed on the death saving throw, and you So an item, an artifact. I would if you grab something like that, you instantly have to make a death save, and if you fail that one, you're a thrall, and so then the item has stolen your life essence, and then you become slave to it, so to speak, or to Hextor. But I love that. That was a fantastic writing. Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
And you can go a lot of different directions with that.
mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
definitely in your campaign with it, and I
yeah.
really appreciate you writing that up.
I can see that being part of a future Rossi's campaign, when Karulk and all the other stuff going on there, and see what happens in Rossi's, and we can have a fight over the remnants. Is something going to come back? And yeah, that could be a lot of fun.
Or I can see, better yet, Dale, sure, someone stealing it and taking it to the good left side of the map. Using it over there.
No.
Like in the Horn Society.
Yep.
Where
Yep.
it can be put to better use.
Cough, cough.
Then and tie it in with the screaming column. Oh, I love that. And the throne and all of that. That's a really cool combination. Yep. I can wonder what happened to Ivid, and what happened to the throne and the Malachite throne, and what happened to the court wizard, the screaming column. There's so many cool items, and so many cool personalities, things, and stuff you can have. So an expedition to Rossi's is something I would love to do in the future. So that will be really, really cool.
There you go. Well, files on its way. In fact, it should be in Discord already.
And what? So Sam, what's going to happen is that I will add mine to Ed's like we've done in previous, and and put it in one of the publications. So we do a joint,
Yep, and that's just fine with me. Permission, formally given, whatever,
Yep.
So, yeah,
very cool.
That's cool.
Awesome. Yep. Sam, you just tell me a due date, and we'll get that done. So very, very cool, man. That was awesome. Oh, are you gonna say something? I thought you were gonna say Ed.
Nope.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, Dale, I read that mission, and that's what that was part of my idea for the conclusion of my Rel Devin campaign. We never reached that part, so that's why I kept it for a future, so to speak, and that's why I got the escaped cat of Karulk. He was the familiar of Karulk, and when things went downhill in Rossi's, he decided to kind of move away from his master and strike out by himself. So he went to a small little village of Ongi, and he was the smartest in the whole village because the cat was smarter than anybody else in the village. So he basically charmed them and went around doing it. And when the good paladin in the among the characters went to the village, he could detect evil, and there was evil in the village, and he started questioning and putting all the villagers out to find out who was the evil one, and they were charmed by the the familiar of the 20 level, the Karulk, the court wizard, who's a 20th level archmage. So that familiar cat was a tough one, and after a while, then almost killed like 4 or 5 villagers, and then they realized it was the cat that was the culprit, and oh damn, they went after that cat. That was a fun adventure. We had a lot of fun with that. I forgot the name of the cat now, but it was they killed it eventually. So, but maybe it can come back again. Yeah,
The
familiars are
cat
weird.
came back.
Yeah, I have 9 lives maybe. So yeah, can have 1 or 2 left. So yeah.
So, Ed, can you give the audience just a little advice on how you would
Lich
go?
cat. Yeah.
Yeah, Lich
Mhm.
Cat. Yeah. I
Smart.
like Roger Moore's Magenta's Cat, which is only in Dragon Magazine. That's a real good one too. That's a really powerful one. Hey, could you give the audience some ideas on what, how you want to go about like creating items like this, so that it doesn't like overtake or really go Monty on them? You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
It's an
sure.
art form. It's tough to
Yeah.
do.
hmm
Okay,
Worrying about,
so
yeah.
if I'm being flippant, I
Oh,
say don't. Don't create any. You know,
go.
no, but that actually points at your step one. And your step one is, do I need to add this to my campaign? Does it have to exist at all?
Right. Good point.
Am I upsetting an apple cart? Are we do we like how the campaign is unfolding right now? Do we
Yeah.
like the style of play? Are all the people around the table happy with our style of play? Why would we want to change it? Okay. If the answer is, yeah, but I think this will be a net plus, not a minus, then okay, go ahead and do it. But don't do it for the sake of doing it. I mean, this is where this is the plot of all those bad movies. The scientists did it because they could.
hmm
They never asked if they should. So, yeah, um, if you think this will add something to play, if you have something in mind that adding an artifact is going to help, then by all means do it. That's step one. Step two, think very long and hard about the effect it will have on play. And like we said at
Absolutely.
the beginning of this is if it's stationary, that is a completely different thing from when it's mobile and can be used, carried along as a weapon or whatever. Okay?
Yep.
So that's the sort of thing you're thinking about. Would it be better to have this thing unmoving in some way? That sort of thing.
hmm
Or if there's a blood price, or if there's a social price, as in, oh, you touched the sacred whatever, you are now outcast, you
hmm
fool, or whatever, because there are stories about the last idiot who touched the thing or whatever. So they've just decided you don't do that. It's like saying, I am opening Pandora's box, and
hmm
now I am unleashing this plague upon the world. Just think of it as COVID. Are you the guy who let COVID out deliberately?
hmm
Okay, what sort of um, treatment should the rest of the world give you because you did that? It's that sort of thing. So if you think about all these things early in the design process, then you don't um, suffer what I call beginner stupidity, which is you fall in love with a detail that you've added to the item. And just an example of that, when I said that this thing, when I was telling you about the blood shield, oh, it has like glistening blood all over the outside and droplets on the bottom, but they never fall off. That's the sort of detail I'm talking about. Okay? If you fall in love with a little detail and you don't want to get rid of it, it will be much harder for you to balance the item. But if you thought about all this first, then you come up with a thing you say, wait a minute, that'll mean, no, screw that, it's gone. You're not worried about something you've fallen in love with. You're just,
Right.
your mind is on the balanced design first and foremost.
That's
It,
why, yep. And that's why I make a lot of these items that I do scalable,
yep,
or they're lacking power because they're missing pieces socketed. Like there's 3 gems missing in that tiara. so it's not at full power yet. And
Right.
then, you know, that way there's a little bit of balance to it. All right, she gets to cast an extra magic missile and a lightning blast, which is a single target lightning bolt, you know, once per day. All right, I can, you know, she's already
Yeah.
a spellcaster. There you go. That's a good
Yeah.
start, you know.
So everything's the rod of 7 parts without formally being the rod of 7 parts.
Yeah.
Because if it's formally the rod of 7 parts, then we have a quest. You know, again, affects the campaign, changes how things are going to unfold in the campaign, and you don't want to do that without considering it beforehand. So that's where you start. And then always err on the side of underpowered.
Right,
You
absolutely.
you can change it later because if you don't, you end up with some player who is a rules lawyer or clever or just hits upon something is completely ruining your campaign because you didn't think of the consequences of this are oh my gosh
Thanks, Doc.
as they you know everything takes over. So just like scale down. You can always add stuff later.
Exactly. That's why I
But
like.
again,
No,
it's hard. It's hard if you've fallen in love with it, the thing, and you don't want to get rid of it. So, start small, start low. You can always add later.
the Sentinel and Gauntlet's a great example, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but they have a way of taking care of them, of them. You know what I'm saying? Look at
Yeah.
that. There's a way. Also, if you go into Treasures of Greyhawk, we just did a couple. It was probably about a year and a half ago. The Sword of Anasanther, where the paladin imbues her spirit into it, and now that sword wants to destroy the face of Xenos. So when that happens, that sword is out of the campaign. But you know, before that, while that's going on, it's in the hands of a paladin. One of Tom's. Sir Pellinor has the sword now because we did that adventure. But you know, eventually we'll run the second part, and then that sword will be absorbed. That's a good way of getting rid of some of the lesser powered artifacts. You know, where there's a good one, well, there must be some kind of evil one that offsets it. You know, so
Yeah.
it's there's some ways of doing it. Because the last thing you want is, and I've seen it, and that's why I have we talk about the very beginning, base items in the game that really can imbalance. I'm going to give you another one. One of the worst is the Talisman of Pure Good or Talisman of Ultimate Evil in first edition, because you snap your finger, evil priest. Yeah, it's Talisman of Pure Good, and there's an evil priest. You could be first level, and at 20th level, that opens up, gone, no say. I mean, how ridiculous. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things in there that you want to put them in your campaign. Make sure you understand what the consequences are going to be.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not saying that I'm the expert, but Ed's more of an expert than me. You know, but I've been DMing for 47 years. I kind of know, hey, sometimes you don't want to give something that's way too powerful. You know, and because you want to keep your game balanced. So.
Yeah. Because if things are too easy, like that thing we were just talking about, the
Whoops.
talisman,
Yeah.
then there's no feeling of achievement.
Right. Exactly.
It may be fun the first time. Oh wow, I can do this. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But then everything is hollow after that because there's no challenge.
No, I agree.
And then all the stuff you did at the table is cheapened. Because you're not as you didn't have to work as hard for it. You're not as heroic. And it's sort of like, oh, that's a downer. And then the campaign fades away because nobody wants to play.
Yeah.
And all because you added something and didn't think about the consequences. Everything in life should be hard. I'm not saying that because I'm a sadist. Yes, I am, but no, I'm not. But I mean, we value things because we worked hard for them. The veterans of wars, they lost friends and maybe their own health and whatever. It was not easy. So they value what they did because it wasn't. oh yeah, home by Christmas, it was a dawdle. No, it was hard.
Yeah.
So everything is valued, and people who weren't there can't value it the same way because they didn't go through the fear, the whatever. And we get this in D&D too. When somebody says, "Oh yeah, let me tell you about the time my character killed Asmodeus." And you go, and your eyes glaze over.
Yep.
Now, smart people will say, "Oh, I guess you had to be there." And that is indeed the key. You had to be there. You had to share that experience, or it's hollow for you.
Yeah.
And the same thing with artifacts. Unless you're doing a stealth artifact where they don't realize it's an artifact until a key moment, and they've been carrying it and using it for years of game time, and then you spring it on them, and everybody at the table looks down at the dungeon master and says, "You bastard."
Yes, and
You know,
that's fun. That's a
yeah,
fun thing to do, to release it.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But unless there's that, and it's a stealth thingy, um, you want everybody to appreciate what the heck's going on. And therefore, you don't want the magic item to be trivial or easily misused. You want it to be appreciated so people go, wow, that was really something, and we did it. And which is why they make, in the original appearance in the game, these artifacts be so difficult to destroy that you're going to have to go on quests to find the method of destruction, because that was how Gary was seeing them most used in play. This thing is terrible. It is too powerful for the world. True heroes will be able to resist using it to become tyrants, to become a new Hitler, and they will know that it has to be destroyed, and they will go on the difficult, dangerous, long journey to do so, which I think is really cool. A lot of the things that are in the game that like younger gamers don't even think about are there because Gary thought it would make, like, he wanted to role play Roland and Charlemagne, which is why we have paladins in the game,
yeah.
which is why we have that full page
Thanks, Cal.
illustration in the original player's handbook of a paladin in hell.
Yep.
You know, why is that there? You know, why did he waste an entire page?
Okay, bye.
Because it's really cool. In his mind, this was something you could do with this character class. And same thing with the artifacts. If you're gonna put them in at all, and you don't want them to rule and change the campaign, but you want them to be important and make the campaign cooler. And again, I always circle back to this. It is coolest when you force your players into making moral choices in game at the table. When they have to make moral choices about something, that's when everything becomes memorable, and they stood for something. They took a line in the sand. They did it. They decided. And if it can be about, no, I'm not going to use this, and neither are you. Nobody's going to get to use it. We are going to destroy it. And then to quote the old Marvel comic, not Brandek, with this power, I can rule the world, the universe, Disneyland. And of course, your job is to say, no, nobody will. We're going to destroy it.
Yeah, and there's it's an art form that it's not easy to do.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do. You want to make your players feel like, wow, we're accomplishing something.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be too easy, and you
No.
don't want it to get too scaled up crazy, because then what are you going to fight next?
Yeah.
You know?
Everything else is a letdown. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I say, and I am not the be all end all, but I see a lot of newer streams out there fighting dragons and beholders and Tiamat and stuff right off the bat. I'm like, where are you going to go next? You know what I mean? Keep it a little, keep the storylines reasonable. You
Well,
can fight.
that's
Fighting
how
kobolds
come.
is fun. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Especially if they're smart. You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's how come your campaign has lasted this long.
Thank you.
Whereas the people who are doing that on stream they say, oh yeah, my campaigns always fizzle out after 3 months. Well, think about why.
Yeah. And there is potential there for stories, especially when the storyline is unique. Like in Greyhawk, there's room for a unique storyline from your game that your people are just going to talk about. Like you come together at night and drinking a couple beers. Instead of talking about hanging, sorry, God. Instead of talking about the old days of Lady Conquest, you're talking about the D&D game, right? And we do that all the time with items and stories and things that happen. You know, going way back, we still. And how many times have I brought up the damn Crown of Rogera Blood Moon, where Bill's character sailing, tried to take over all of Greyhawk City, and all the Cairn Hills because he became like the Tulsa Doom megalomaniac character from it. But it's memorable. You know what I mean? And that's the and that come my child, right? So
And that's where you throw a curve.
yeah,
To go back to the first Red movie again.
yeah,
And Bruce Willis's character is meeting the guy who used to be head of the KGB, and they're drinking vodka.
yeah,
And they're talking about Igor the Butcher.
yeah.
And
He's fat. He's 400 pounds.
yeah, that's right. Who are we drinking to? Igor the Butcher. He was a pig. He was my brother or whatever.
Cousin.
Cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he goes, I didn't kill him. He's still alive. Sort of thing. What? I turned him. He owns a chain of 7-Elevens in Orange County. He weighs 500 pounds or whatever. And what? Sort of thing. It's that moment of, are you going to do something different?
Yeah.
The curve ball. And that's actually better than ultimate destruction because the character is still around. But they may be completely different. The old thing that was implied in the later Sherlock Holmes stories, he's retired and is raising bees in the countryside. And the number of Hollywood movies that have played with that, where you go to see Holmes and he's retired and he doesn't want to help you. He doesn't want to leave his bees, that sort of thing. And you can ring changes on that too, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is a cool thing because then your players are confronting the fact that, hey, there are people in this world who don't want power. They had it and they gave it up and they don't want to see it again. They don't want power. Oh, maybe there is another way of viewing the world. Mm-hmm. Because this person had all the power and was successful, and now he doesn't want it. He must be mad, Monty Python actually lampooned that, when the Life of Brian, Eric Idle's character saying, "No, you must be mad." Da, 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 da.
It's not what Thanos tried to do at the end of the one movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Killed half of everyone in the universe, so he just went, "Oh, I'll go garden now."
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a good point. And I know we're getting really deep here, but just like one item can ruin a campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It can. And then you don't want your players being mad at you for just taking it away. There should be a storyline why it gets taken away, which could be a church of Heronius comes and goes, my son and my daughter, you shouldn't have this. You're attracting throngs of infernals here. We need you need to leave or we need to get rid of something. It could be anything. So if you have to, but yeah,
everything in your campaign should be excuse for story.
Yep.
Now, I don't mean that you should put the pressure on your players so that coming to the gaming table is as bad as everyday real life, where they don't get a break.
No, well, I'm half serious when I say it. I think it should be worse, but compared to the real life, your character should be equipped to deal with it, so to speak.
Bingo.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah.
I see the game as a way of therapy against all the troubles we have to experience in life. Yeah. In game, we can experience worse troubles, but damn, we can go after them, so to speak.
Yes, we can do something about it.
Yeah,
absolutely. And there's
Whereas in real life, if you draw a sword and hack at your boss, that's
Yeah.
not the right way to go.
Exactly, but in game it's like a therapy in that sense. A good game should be fun and have that therapeutic side to it that you can go out and do cool stuff that you couldn't do in real life, so to speak.
Oh, there's Rob. Rob got the horn, right? Rob, you got the horn of heroes. He got the lesser item out of the muck. So a barbarian, 5th level barbarian. I'll be blowing that a lot. So one of the first clips when I started playing was on that level. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and that's Girdle of Giant Strength. Yeah, Jeff. That's another thing. I mean, like Hammer Thunderbolts, they're items. Girdles of Giant Strength and Hammers of Thunderbolts combined are nasty.
Yeah, but I think one aspect of that is the problem with really powerful magic items and like artifacts and stuff is that they are out there on the fringes of what the rules normally covers, and that's I think it's one part of the problem, so to speak. Less items and magic, it's clearly covered by both the rules and the player experience and stuff and DM experience, and you used to handle the firebolts and the lightning bolts and the cure magic and the regular stuff that you count. But once artifacts comes when the finger of death and the various scary rays and all sorts of stuff that should be like instant annihilation. How do you deal with that, so to speak? How instant should the annihilation be, and how thorough should it be, and how should it affect characters versus other creators? And then you have the thing that touch another thing that often comes to have to do with player and character freedom, so to speak. What about charm, various enchantment? Right, your character is now in the hands of I use is controlling it or you become the spawn of someone or something. And these are things that are cool to write into an artifact, that the artifact enslaves the whole city or whatever. Meaning you can dream up enormous scenarios, but how the heck do you even deal with it? Meaning should a character go around and all you just a simple saving throw and your character is basically kaput that can never come back again and stuff. So these are things that you need to start thinking mechanically a little bit. What if this thing is continually used both by the characters against everything else? What kind of consequences, and also what will happen if someone else uses it against the characters? What kind of limitations and stuff do you want to have? That's you need to think both ways when you do this and start thinking what should be the limitations of these powers, so to speak. What if it can hands out wishes? Can you wish for whatever? And
you're talking crazy. Yeah, the power.
Exactly. But when we're talking artifacts, then
there's
crazy powerful magic that is in the spell player's handbook could be part of what he could do. So you need to, as a DM, you need to start thinking, how powerful should these things type of magic be in my campaign, so to speak?
Yeah, and that's why all in the original Dungeon Master's Guide, they have multiple lines for negative quirks and negative effects, which got to happen. And also, there always needs to be a way out for the players. You got to have that out, of something.
Yeah, but that is interesting. But but that effect doesn't always, the way out doesn't have to happen after the effect. It can happen before the effect.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
so instead of having a saving throw against that horrible ray, is that what if that artifacts can be seen or heard or smelled or experienced from half a mile away, and when he fires that thing up in the morning to go to battle, everybody knows it half a mile away or hundreds of feet away. So you get a chance to escape it before it goes bad, and then when the bang goes off, then you're screwed, so to speak, or something. So you can shift it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a saving throw after the spell is or the effect is done. It might be an earthquake, meaning the earthquake doesn't come out of thin air and you have to make a saving throw to see if you survive. It might be that you have to make a very early saving throw to see how early you detect the that thing will probably go off sometime in the near future. So there are various ways around that too. So and I suggest you experiment with various ways to counter it, detect it before it goes off, rather than just a straight saving throw to see if you
You got to
survive the
know about
effect
it
or
in the
not.
first place, though, Anna.
Exactly, but that's what I mean is that there are multiple ways you can deal with this stuff. You can, and in order to limit the use, you can the character has to sacrifice a lot of his age, for instance, or be maximum hit points or level drain or whatever, so to speak. There can be all sorts of nasty effects
So
on the character. Yeah,
let me show you an article real quick that Roger Moore wrote.
yeah,
This is the Orb. I showed this before. This is the Orb of Dragonkind articles,
yeah,
Mhm.
right? There's all of them. They're
Yep.
all bad side effects.
yeah,
Anyone who
Mhm.
uses these is effed, right?
Mhm.
Even the
Yes.
lesser one. All the
yeah,
quirks are really bad. So
yeah,
Roger did a great job in
mhm,
tempting people with these, but it won't be long before they're destroyed or they're overtaken by it, or so like lots
yeah,
and lots of negative effects for
yeah,
all the orbs, which I found refreshing in that. So he did a really good job
yeah.
writing up the details on those.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also think about a little bit how your fantasy physics work, so to speak, meaning what are the limitations of various things and how do they work? So you can, because that way, because players will always like, oh, how the hell did my character die of this or whatever? Why do things work one way and not the other? So consistency in story and consistency in effect. So I'm tired of stories that thinks, oh, it works this way now because that's cool for the story. But once you take in the hand and use it, then it doesn't work anymore, or whatever, just because now you have it. And I don't like these limitations. I'm much more limitation should be physical or within fantasy physics. This is the way these things function, so to speak, and regardless of who's using it or the limitations of you can't use it because you're mere human and you need to
Yeah.
be more
Yeah.
powerful
Well,
to even wield this. Otherwise you can simply put like a you can sense that if you touch that thing you're going to hell literally or something. Like it can be all sorts of effects, but you should warn your players and give them an opt a way out, so to speak. But I also see that you can have really nasty effects. So some artifacts should be like nukes. Don't play with them,
of course.
so to speak. Yeah.
Yep. But I like tempting them early on with something that's benign and going to help you. You got to have
Exactly.
some fun over
Yeah.
time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
A slow
Yeah.
creep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So Ed, you want to say anything in closing on this? Maybe we'll take a couple questions here. Another great discussion.
Uh,
So
yeah, I would say adding an artifact should be your last resort.
Mhm.
Look for other story things
Mhm.
first.
good idea.
And then when you do add an artifact, it'll fit into the campaign because you've done all the other stuff and you've thought about it. You've thought about what works and doesn't work with your group. You've thought about whether they want dungeon crawls or whatever, whatever floats their boat. Because you've done that work first, when you do add something, it'll really fit. It'll be memorable. It'll work. Don't don't go for the power thing right away.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Great.
My excuse was the virtual Greyhawk gun adventure. I need to play test high level play. That's why I needed to.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
They needed to ramp up the power level because I wanted to play test it for the live, so to speak, for once. Yeah.
It's going to be a blast. The Virtual Grad Con.
Ah,
We're
we'll
very
see.
close.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
Next week's
so many
Gabbin's going
cool
to be the
events.
prelude show for it, so we're going to go over a
Yep.
lot of stuff next week on the show for that. So, anyone have any questions for Ed while we have him for the next couple minutes here? Any questions at all? Ed, like I said, I really appreciate the content. I've already been talking to
Yeah.
Sam. I'm going to take your Greyhawk. I'm going to take your Greyhawk item, the Hexter Shield, and I'm going to add my Tiara, the Tiara of Power. I'm going to joint them together for a two-part article. And get
Excellent.
that over to him. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. Thinking that there could be many forgeries. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Fake artifacts are a great idea, Jeff. That's a great
Yep.
idea. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. or cursed items.
Yep.
Cursed items could be fun too. I just wouldn't
Yep.
overdo it with cursed items.
Yeah.
Uh,
I could
Yeah.
definitely see like a religion or like a church having fake copies so they can present whatever many of the wand or staff of something, and
Right.
and then the real one is held in the back and used by the archpriest or something. But there's plenty of others in the ceremony in order to kind of hide which one is the true one or something. So
Yeah. And if it does get stolen,
hmm
I would assume that unless it was a very public theft and so on, and unless it has a power that it's obvious to the general population that the
Yep.
power is missing,
hmm
I would say that the number one um, instinct of most priesthoods would be to lie about it, to cover up the fact that the
Yep.
thing's been stolen, while they
hmm
frantically try and find it or get
Yep.
it back.
Mhm.
But they're not going to say, "Oh my goodness, we the sworn servants of God X allowed the God's thing to get stolen on our watch."
Yeah.
No, they're not going to admit that.
Yep.
So you have plenty of play opportunities there because one of the ways they can continue to deny is to hire expendable outlanders, i.e., adventurers, to do the trying to find because it's plausible deniability.
hmm
If they say anything or get caught or die horribly or whatever, the priest can say nothing to do with me. But if it's priest doing it, that's a little hard to walk away from that, saying no, 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 nothing to see here.
Yeah,
You know,
let's see. There was a good question in chat. I'll see if I can find the what I'm looking for that one.
Roll Objects, Player's Handbook First Edition and Complete Book of Rangers is what I'd recommend. So you get a lot of ideas of variety or options and kits and stuff. But just the Player's Handbook First Edition is where you should start with if you want to go Rangers. You know,
Yeah, if you want first edition Rangers, it's this one, the complete book of Rain. And this is a
that-
lot of thematic cool
that's
stuff for
second.
every edition.
That's second.
Oh, yeah,
that's
sorry, second edition.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was the first time you had deep dives into
Yeah, and a lot of different kit
classes,
ideas
so
and
to
stuff.
speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Third edition, you have one that is the, hang on a second here. There is one, which one is that?
Yep.
There is
So Ed, what's your favorite class? You have a favorite?
I don't have a favorite. The ones I like the most are, of course, a sorcerer or a wizard,
Mhm.
and the original the first edition bard,
Oh
where
yeah,
you had to multi-class and all
yeah,
sorts of things.
yeah. They make powerful
Um,
characters.
yeah,
They
and they
do.
were fun too because
Yeah,
by the time you'd started play as a bard, you already had a backstory.
you did. Yeah, yeah.
with usually with lots of enemies and so on. Um, if
Good
you
point.
had a detailed setting that you were playing in. But yeah, I love those. But again, it's not so much the class as it is the people playing it at the table.
Sure.
I'm not so much a mechanics guy and never have been, as opposed to a story guy.
Mhm.
I want a good story. Tell me a story, Daddy. I want a good story. Or Mummy. Grandma's had the best stories. If they weren't like full of morals. um, because they would tell you stories about family members and they could get away with it because they were old and therefore they could say things about the family members when they were young and couldn't be shushed because they were the shushers. So for me, it's the story always. And when somebody and I saw this increasingly with fifth edition, where people are arguing about how to get a better build for your character so you can do more damage in a single round and hammer somebody before the other guy, and it's like, oh my God, I don't want to play at that table because I don't want that. Um, I want story. I want to be able to enjoy the story. I want the story to unfold, and I want to get to know my fellow party members. And I want this to be us becoming battle comrades, honestly, like fighting together, saving each other's butts, and um, that to me is the essence of the game. So um, I really don't care when I'm playing in tournament games and so on. The only thing I don't want to do is be handed a character where to play it well, I need to know a whole bunch of stuff I don't know. Like, say, the priest of a deity in a setting I'm totally unfamiliar with. I can't do a good job of playing the priest if I don't know the deity. So I would avoid that. But other than that, it to me it's not a character class thing.
I have a little story for you, Ed.
Sure, go ahead.
2 weeks ago, I did
Mhm.
a little final little mini plot arc where Maram stole the Book of Demonology from Balchan Speakin, and they can't control it, right? So it's out.
Right? Yeah.
So 2 Saturdays ago, you know, Tony and Jeremy played. Tony played Nixolia.
Okay.
In one fight, Priestess on the other side, or Spellcaster on the other side, she immediately just dispelled magic. She knew it, had a minor globe up, which was hysterical, right? But before that, she fumbled like, I don't know, multiple times. She hit herself in the groin twice in the same round, in the same combat, which is unbelievable. Unbelievable. But the very end, there's it's a priest of Orcus, and they summon a Baylor, right, with the book, and the book,
Right.
finally burns away in ashes. So that's the end of that plot arc, right? Got rid of it. It got consumed by that. He casts Slay Living on her. She rolled a 1.
Oh. Oh.
So she
Yeah.
died. Remember, well, Emerson, the NPC, had an elixir of life on him, and so they administered it to her within a turn. So she was dead for a couple rounds. Real dead.
Got it.
Yeah. Remember,
Okay.
there's raised deads and resurrections in my game, but I killed Nixolia.
Okay, now you got it out of your system. You don't have to kill Nixolia ever again. There you go.
By the way, your Ravalantar's college buddy, Orist, the Earth Elementalist, Stephen Danielson is one of the 3 signups, open signups. He'll be playing on a week from Thursday as well.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yeah, so he'll be back. Yeah, so your Elementalist buddy, Orist Rothschild, will be there. So, yeah.
Excellent.
She was dead. It didn't take. Yes, exactly. So she was only mostly dead. Yeah, but that's just the way
mostly dead, yes.
That's why there's get out of jail cards. That Elixir Lives are one of the ones that'll, no matter what, you're dead, it'll bring you back within, as long as it's
nothing
within
to
10
do
rounds.
but go through his pockets for loose change. Yeah.
So excuse me. I know we're running a little late there. Why don't we do the giveaways? That's just a great discussion. Thank you. This is fun.
My pleasure. I love doing these.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're so appreciative. But like I said, I'm going to get by next weekend. The end of next weekend, I will have yours and mine together sent to Sam, and it'll get it next Greg Grimoire. So yeah, it'll get it in the October issue, which is great.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yep. So the special guests, Curtis, are you, Stephen Ranning McFarlane now, and Ed Ravalantar. Okay. Then I got 3 open signups. What I forget. One of them messaged me. R.R. Brando, Stephen Danielson, and the third signup. Who I'm sorry, I know you sent me an email. I'll start getting them out this week. And then whichever of my guys play, at most it's going to be 2 of them. So it'll be. I know Walt and Tom are probably the only 2. Yeah. So there you go. It's gonna be fun. It'll be a fun adventure. Yep. So yeah. All right. Let's do the giveaways. The first giveaway will be the hardback copy of this. Once Chuck hasn't got me the code yet, so just sit tight on that. Right there you go. Monsters and Treasures of Air. Okay, and then we'll do a 2-bagger. 2 like for example, if you want 1 reference book and 1 adventure from Classic for the second giveaway, we'll do that. Okay, I'll mail that out. Here you go. Saltmarsh and the 5th edition remake of the guide, the Grail Guide. If you have these both, we'll get a whole pile courtesy of Patrick here. So to do that, and then we're reading the Darling. And then Ed, if you want to stick on, and I want to tell you something that's going on.
Yeah.
This week no Saturday game. It's my wife's birthday, so we'll have we're gonna do a stream. We're gonna do Wednesday Legends of Lore. We're going to go over highlights in the top 10, the first 10 Earth journals. We're going to go over articles
good
that
one.
Anna, myself, and Mike like. How my normal game Thursday, and then the Gabbin will be a prelude show for Virtual GrandCon on Sunday. So only 3 streams. First time I've done 3 streams since my surgery. Right, it's been a while. So yeah, with the wife's birthday, I'm gonna take Saturday off from a special game. So here we go. Let's see. That's exclamation point. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be the older ones. I'll see it maybe if Rick is available. I don't know if he did. Rick edit any of the first 10? If he did,
I'm not sure. I think those were Eric Mona's, the first 10.
Were they? Okay.
Yeah, at least the first 5, 4 or 5,
Yeah,
definitely.
I have Eric coming on for Virtual GrandCon. So
Exactly. So we will do them without Eric. Yeah.
All right, here we go. First winner. This is for the hardback book. Tim Enoch Pratt. Congrats. Basitios, you get the choice of 2.
That's what I thought, Dale.
How about those 2? All right. Let me know if those 2 are good. Yep. Congrats. Ed, thank you. Anna, thank you. Great show. Great
I
show.
hope we inspired some people and discouraged them. Hope we didn't discourage you too much from using artifacts and stuff, because that can be cool. You just have to think a little bit beforehand and rein your worst excesses in a little bit, and then you can have fun. Yeah.
By the way, thank you for a record hype train that went through level 10.
Wow.
So, yes, and a lot of that with Avatar, you gave 50 gift subs, so that kind of kicked it off along with all the other people, and then we had a whole bunch afterwards. That's why I put the bonus thing on. Yeah, have a great week, everyone. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Let me see if I hit a wrong button here, because that's what I do. I do all the time, and I don't know why.
Tradition.
Yes, true. Yeah, exactly. And look at that, Ed. Your what do you call it, cleared up real well. So.
Excellent.
Zoom cleared up afterwards.
Oh yeah, after you logged in again, there were no issues whatsoever. It worked.
Okay, I went wireless.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, it worked. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, see if we can go in well over 70 to Darling there. Beautiful. 5, 4, 3, 80. Nice. 3, 2, 1. See you Wednesday night.
Bye.
Bye.
82. That was a good number.
That's a good number.
Yep, it went over.
Nice.
At least it went over my end here. So yeah.
Okay.